Welcome to the characters we work with, where art imitates life, and the people who entertain us on TV are strikingly similar to those we work alongside every day.
We hear the stories of what life was like in the 1950s, the post-war era when the baby boomer generation came of age during what is regarded by many as the best, most prosperous decade of the 20th century. Few TV shows captured the spirit of the decade, as did the mega-hit Happy Days that reigned supreme for most of the 1970s. Featuring a perfect blend of personalities from the caretakers, the go-getters, the hard-working providers, to the supportive, the funny, and of course the coolest of the cool Happy Days had it all. Reflecting on the pit stops we've made going around the career track, we too have spent time with some supportive, funny, and hard-working people, which goes to show that art surely imitates life. Let's take a deeper dive into the cast of Happy Days and see how well they compare to the characters we work with every day. The Howard Cunningham is even-keeled, seldom rattled, and nothing ever seems to faze him. This makes him the perfect, calm, cool, collected boss we need to keep a team together when the pressures of the business tick up. Some of your colleagues take his low-key personality for apathy or a lack of awareness, believing they can get away with things working for the Howard. But they quickly learn that this is not the case. Time and time again, the whole team learns that the Howard doesn't miss a thing, but instead chooses to give people just enough rope to either make the right choices or hang themselves. And the results are mixed, but most people opt to do the right thing most of the time. The Howard will never shy away from challenging conversations, willing to tell people like it is in a calm, judgment-free manner. He will give you the chance to stop in and talk about anything, whether work-related or personal. He is incredibly perceptive as well, and will proactively check in with you if he thinks you need help or advice. You are thankful to have the Howard at the helm and trust that everything will always be okay while he is around. There is always a person or two that tries a little harder than most to be liked. In our workplace, she is the Jenny Piccolo. The Jenny will never simply pass by you silently. She will always offer a compliment on your clothes or hair or your splendid work. She wants desperately to be included, not just with a certain group, but with every group. The Jenny is also the ultimate gossip magnet. She loves hearing it and loves sharing it. You may be with a couple of your coworkers at the water cooler or in the break room having a conversation when the Jenny pops in to insert herself. The Jenny has a big heart and why, despite being a bit too nosy, is mostly liked by everyone. But the Jenny is always straddling the line of authenticity with her perky, over-complimentary, gossipy brand she has built. We always hope she will mature, personally and professionally, and channel that positive energy to present a bit more balanced persona. Who is the Chuck Cunningham, you ask? Great question, almost no one knows. TV Chuck was the oldest Cunningham brother, and after a few appearances early in the series, went off to college, never to be seen again. Here in our workplace, we too have seen a few of the Chucks, but only briefly, of course. The Chuck is the guy you met on day one in that job you had where the company hired several people at once, and you all began the same week, same orientation. The Chuck was there meeting the leaders who popped by to welcome the new group. He was outgoing, gregarious, mixed in great with everyone. When you gathered for lunch, all sitting together, the Chuck was right there, laughing, having fun, telling stories. It seemed like the Chuck would be a fixture for years to come. And by Wednesday, day 3, the Chuck was gone. He wasn't there by 9 a.m., not there by midday. The trainers didn't mention him, nor seem to know about his whereabouts. Once Thursday and Friday passed with no sign of the Chuck, you realized he was no more. The Chuck teased you with a quick connection, a few laughs, never to be seen again. We have all spent those couple of days with the Chuck, some of whom make an impression enough for you wonder sometimes, whatever happened to that guy, Chuck? But like Kaiser Sose taught us, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And like that poof, he was gone. Do we always love having an office comedian? Probably not. Most of us want to work with people with a good sense of humor, and those who don't take themselves too seriously for sure. But the funny guy plays a delicate role, always teetering between people being happy to see him, while others dive under their desks at the sight of him. And our office comedian we call the Ralph. Our Ralph is unfortunately not simply the nice guy with a good sense of humor type we have seen at many a workplace. In this office, we got the non-stop 400 horsepower joke machine that can wear you out faster than a workplace harassment training by HR. Dealing with the Ralph is always challenging as you both cringe and pity him at the same time. Much like our other colleague, the Jenny, the Ralph has a clear, deep desire to be liked by everyone. When he senses that his comedic approval rating is dropping, instead of throttling back a bit, he goes the other way, trying harder, louder, and jokier. Like the Jenny, we hope the Ralph gains the maturity and confidence, and perhaps medication, to even out and take a more tempered approach to maintain the good sense of humor, but in a more reserved way that helps him to better fit in with the team. From the moment he rides in on his motorcycle to the moment he rocks the leather jacket to leave for the day, you and everyone around the office are in awe just to be in the presence of the workplace unicorn. That rarely seen individual that some believe exists while most do not. And those true believers who've witnessed it tell people the stories for years. He is the Fonz. The Fonz is the essence of cool. People either want to be him or to be with him. Working on a project with the Fonz is among your greatest, fondest career memories. It never mattered how the project turned out. If the Fonz's name was on it, it was a home run. Although he reports to the same boss as everyone else, it seems like the Fonz has no boss. Perhaps he really is the boss. He comes and goes on his own schedule, does his own thing, takes care of all of his tasks at a high level, on time. When there is an office crisis, you call the Fonz. He can fix anything, from getting your car started when the engine won't turn over, to the office copier. He even fixed the vending machines just by hitting it in the right spot. And before you have the chance to thank him for his trouble, you hear only the roar of a motorcycle engine from the parking lot as the Fonz hits the road on his Harley for another day. It may not always be the best job in your career, but when it includes working alongside the Fonz, it is always the coolest. The 1950s is considered the golden era, from post-war patriotism, the baby boom, unprecedented economic prosperity, to the birth of rock and roll. A TV classic like Happy Days takes us through the decade with a cast of family-oriented, kind-hearted, funny, and honest, hard-working characters. When we go beyond the slicked-back hair and pencil skirts to the decades of our own careers, we see just how well they match up with the honest, hard-working, family-oriented characters we work with every day.
If you love characters we work with, let's celebrate the characters you work with. We create your story and customized video that paints the perfect parallel between your workplace, your colleagues, and your favorite TV show or movie. Celebrate the Michael Scotts, the Carrie Bradshaws, Ross Gellers, or Tony Sopranos we work alongside each day. There is no better icebreaker or team builder than your own CW3 video to enjoy with your team, your workplace, or friends and family. Because at the end of the day, aren't we all just characters in the sitcom of life? Thanks for watching. To see more of the characters we work with, stop by the CW3 blog section at careerion.com.